Hey, welcome back to the Slightly Overweight podcast, starring Hayden Smith, not featuring Mackenzie today. Unfortunately, she is doing her job for the next couple of days, taking care of animals for a family friend, and they have horses. Mackenzie's grown up around these horses her whole life, and horses in general her whole life, which is super cool. And me personally, my first experience with a horse was not very pleasant, actually. I was at some type of fair or something in the woods, and I was super young. Like this is so long ago, it almost feels like a dream because it was so long ago. You ever think that? Like, you're like, damn, remember fucking preschool? Like, oh, by the way, gonna try to reduce the F words. I'll touch on that later. It's like whenever you think about preschool, and when you were in like first grade, that was like 2 years ago. You're like, yeah, dude, I used to, get my crayons out and cut my hair with the scissors and eat the glue. But now you're like, dang, bro. Preschool was actually that was almost 2 decades ago now. 20 years, That's what this memory feels like. And I'm in the woods. There's horses all around. My brother's there. My mother's there. And you know those cookies, the best cookies ever that are like opaque on the outside and then like colorful on the inside? Not opaque, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like a frosting on the top. And you bite into it and it's super fluffy. They had those there with sprinkles, star sprinkles. It was really cool. They had horses. My mom said, I will give you one of these cookies if you get on that horse. I said, no. I said, I'm not going to do that. And I don't want to ride horsey now. Horsey, big and scary. I'm pretty sure back then it was like a miniature pony. But to me, the proportions are the same. Me to horse now, as in fucking preschool age to horse then. Mini horse. The proportions and ratio is the same. It's a 1-to-2 scale. So I'm looking up at this mini pony like, But my mom thought I should be cultured, as a parent does, and placed me on top of the horse, and I screamed and cried until they took me off. It was traumatizing and scary. I ate my cookie while tears were streaming down my face, and it was okay. Did it mix with the ingredients of the cookie and make it taste better? Maybe. I added a little bit of salt to my cookie through my tears. I now love those cookies, but horses, I don't know. Horses are really cool and beautiful and majestic animals. Don't eat them, obviously. But, when they're looking at you, they look like they could kill you. They're literally, me face to face with a horse is like this. I go, hello, horsey, what are you doing? Pet, pet, pet nose. And he goes, so listen, I possess the power to kill you, but I choose not to. Do you understand? This is our dynamic. And I go, yep, okay, I'm going to leave now, okay. I am so sorry for disturbing you, horsey. I will not ride you, okay. That's what every horse, I think, is thinking every time that I see them. Because they're big, and I've seen people get kicked in the head on videos whenever they're standing behind them. So anytime I'm standing behind a horse, I'm not okay. I do not want to take part in the getting kicked in the head of the back of a horse. In my opinion, horses are beautiful, but don't touch them, Rescue them if you need to. Ride them if you need to. But that's why horses, are not the main mode of transportation, and cars are. Horses were for a long time. It went walking on feet. Then they stormed into America and were like, what the fuck are you riding? This is super cool. I want to ride that as well. Do they have horses in England? I'm going to go ahead and assume horses were only an American thing because I don't remember. Paul Revere was on a horse, and that was in America. So I'm going to go ahead and say there were no horses in England before they came over to America. I'm going to say horses are an American thing. They have like giraffes and stuff over there and zebras. We have horses and camels. They got camels. We got horses. They came over and say, yo, these horses, what the heck? Let's ride them. Slapped a saddle on them and rode them. And then Henry Ford came out and was like, yo, actually, What if we put 4 wheels on something, put an oil and also a cylinder of some sort, and gasoline and powered transportation? And everybody was like, what? That's crazy. We should name the powerfulness of them called horsepower. How many horses is that? I guarantee the reason that that's called horsepower is because the early adopters had cars, right? And then you had what are called the laggards, the people who don't adopt things until like very late in the game. I guarantee we had old man Jenkins on his horses being pulled by a carriage. He had 4 horses being pulled by a carriage, and then we had freaking Henry Ford's son over here going, "Hey yo, look at my awesome car. It goes super fast." And he goes, "All right, let's race." And old man Jenkins versus Henry Ford's son, "All right, let's race, okay? Meet me at the track at 6 o'clock sharp. 6 o'clock sharp." And they go, "Okay." They meet there at 6:05. Old man Jenkins pulls up. "Sorry I was late. I was riding my horse." And they take off. And obviously, the car beats the 4 horses, even though the horses try their hardest. They didn't put a carrot in front of them, so they didn't try their hardest, but they got smoked. They got smoked by Henry Ford's son. And Old Man Jenkins was like, "All right, mate, you got me there. How many horses powerful is that car?" And Henry Ford was like, "What do you mean?" And Old Man Jenkins was like, "How many horses is equal to the power of what's underneath the hood on that thing?" And Henry Ford was like, "I don't know, probably like a couple horsepower. If I beat your horses, probably at least 5 horsepower." He's like, "Oh." And that's how the word horsepower became a part of the English vernacular. For more fun facts, email me. And just kidding, who has an email? I say that, but I have like 18 emails. But that's how horsepower makes sense. So horses are scary. I would have been an early adopter and gone, I'd rather not have an animal control my like what if the horse is just like, "Nah, I'm okay." Like, actually no, I can speak on this because I had a car that said that exact thing. It was a 2000 Chevy Impala. It was white, and she had a battery issue. She had trouble connecting the battery terminals because they use drills whenever they screw any bolt on a car for some reason, and they strip the screw, so it was loosely kind of jingling in there. And some days, like a horse, if it was really tired, my car would go, "Not today, actually. You're going to be late to class and probably break down on the highway at least 2 times on your way to your mom's house. So that's what I'm going to do today. What are you going to do about it?" And when my car did that the last time, I said, "Hey, you know what? I'm just going to sell you for less than what you're worth, and I'm going to buy a new car that runs, actually." So that car's gone, and now I got that Chevy Cruze, which is super dope. So cars are very similar to horses, but cars are faster than horses. And so the story that I was going to tell you earlier about me not cursing. So my grandma owns a pizza place, and she makes pizzas, and also there's like a bar as well. So she runs the whole thing, and she's done it for a couple of years. Like her whole life basically has been restaurant industry stuff. So I went there and I was like, "Grandma, can I have a free pizza?" And she knows that I come by sometimes and I ask for a pizza, and she gives it to me because she's the best grandma ever. So I was like, "Grandma, would you mind if I got a pizza?" And she's like, "Well, here's the thing. Anytime that I called her before I came. I was like, 'Yo, Grandma.' She said, 'What do you want?' And I was like, 'What do you mean?' She's like, 'Anytime you call me, you want something. What do you want?' And she got my ass because I said, 'Well, I was actually wanting a pizza.' And she said, 'What kind?' So I got the pizza. And as I'm about to leave the pizza place, she goes, 'Hey, your great grandma,' which is my grandma's mom, she's on Facebook now, and she listened to one of your podcasts.' And instantly, I'm like, 'Grandma, why Would you let her get on Facebook? 1. Why would you let her find my podcast? 3, maybe 4. I don't know what number we were on. So my great grandma, who's very against any form of cursing, has now found my podcast, which is absolutely littered with the curse words. So if you ever find this one, great grandma, I'm very sorry. But my grandma, the pizza place owner, she said, yeah, she found it. She found the podcast, and you're in a lot of trouble. So someone have to talk to her and see how that goes. I love both of my grandmas, my great grandma and my grandma. They're both very awesome people, and I am proud to have them in my life. That being said, I cannot wait to have this talking to by my great grandma. I'm fretting it a little bit, actually. Yeah. So if you see this, grandma, love you. And I'm sorry for all the curse words, but I will try to stop, okay? Yeah? After yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, I don't know. Recently, I finally got the PC in. I know we talked about it on the last podcast with Mackenzie, but now I have it. It's sitting on my desk right there, and it is gorgeous. Haven't had a chance to do anything on it, but the first thing that I'll do is edit this podcast on it. So if you're hearing this podcast somewhere on Spotify or YouTube, that means that it worked. So isn't that beautiful in its own way? I'm from Indiana. I live in Indiana. Isn't it weird how there's like a law on getting alcohol on Sunday? It used to be you couldn't get any alcohol at all, but now you have to wait until you can't get it past 8 p.m. on a Sunday. And I'm like, dude, what year is it? Is it 2021, dog? Why? The reason that the whole Sunday thing was a thing is because you couldn't buy alcohol on God's Day, which is Sunday or whatever. Why is there still religion in politics? I don't know. Couldn't ask me because I have no idea about any of that stuff. But I realized it was 7:30 and wanted some Bud Light, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get some. So I ran and got some. I know the guy there. He's a super nice guy, and it's in my fridge waiting for me to start editing this podcast. So crack open a brewski for me today, wherever you're at, because this week's gonna be a hard week. You got a lot of stuff going on. I know you got a project, maybe 2. You're going to have to deal with that person you really don't want to talk to, and they're going to talk your ear off the whole time about how much money they're making in crypto, or about how much they don't like doing that thing that they do all the time. Isn't that frustrating? You just want to be like, well, then stop doing that thing. Every time you come and talk to me, you're actually doing the same thing, and it has the same result every time. So maybe stop doing that. But you can't say that because you're a nice person, because all of my viewers are nice people. So shout out to all of you who put up with all of that stuff every single day, day in and day out, and still get the job done. You're strong and you're cool. And if we knew each other in real life, we'd be best friends. I promise you that. Yeah? That being said, there's probably at least one listener out there who is that person who talks everybody's ear off, because that's probably me. I usually know when to stop. Usually, I can read the room, but sometimes if I'm really interested in something, I just continue talking and I don't realize the effect it has on other people. So maybe we can both learn something today and read the room and know when to stop talking. That being said, this is my podcast, so I'm going to talk the whole time. So get used to that. I'm going to get a drink real quick. While I'm getting this drink, go ahead and think about what you have to do this week. If you're watching the video version, I would like to apologize. 1, I haven't been hitting the gym lately, so sorry you got to look at all of this. Number 2, I went away yesterday and spent the night somewhere else, and I turned off the AC in the house to make sure that I don't waste any electricity. I came back and forgot to turn it on before I went upstairs, and now it's 110 degrees up here, and that's what I'm recording in. So if you see my sweat stains begin to perspire, You see my forehead full of droplets of sweat. That is all my fault. Don't feel bad for me. No one else is doing this to me but myself. And I had the fan on, but I checked the audio on it, and it sounded like I was in the middle of a jet engine tunnel. Or right before Apollo 11 took off and I was in the tunnel and it went the whole time on the microphone. So I turned it off for you guys. Look at all the effort I put in for you. Look at all the effort I put in for you, putting out this podcast every single week because you guys deserve it. All 15 of you. I love each and every single one of you, but what if that was 30 though? What if I doubled the amount of people that love this podcast? Do you know how we can do that? All you have to do is add one more thing to your list of things to do this week and go, hey, so this really cool, dorky looking, funny guy has a podcast named the Slightly Overweight Podcast. Isn't that a funny name? And they'll go, no, it's not funny, actually. That hurts my feelings. And you go, okay, sorry, maybe it's not for you. You tell another person, and then they start laughing at the name, and you go, hey, he's funny. Check him out. If you hate him, tell me, and I'll make sure I leave a review on there that says Hayden. The second person I talked to was actually not a fan. But I will have. It's all about the effort. Even if we don't double the numbers, it's all about the effort. And if you put in the effort, then we'll grow a lot faster, and then I can start doing shows. I can start doing shows across the country, across the world, and become internationally recognized as the coolest person ever. But that starts with the 15 viewers that watch this every single time, because they are out there. You're right there, listening and watching. I've been talking to Mackenzie about our future a lot. Speaking of Mackenzie, while she's not here, I get to talk about her because she doesn't listen to the podcast. So I'm going to say a couple things actually. Mackenzie is a diamond in the rough. Out of all the people out there that I could have ended up with, and all the people out there that she could have ended up with, how beautiful is it that we found each other? It's actually pretty amazing. I liken us, like I've been thinking about becoming a writer and stuff. Just kicked the camera and threw off the whole shot. I'm a fucking doofus. Sorry, great grandma. I'm a doofus for kicking the camera. Sorry about that. I've been thinking about writing a lot, like screenplays and stuff like that, because I'm in this poetry class. Didn't know I was a good poet either. I wrote the best poem ever. Let me read it to you right now. Give me a sec. Oh, there goes the phone. I was in class and wrote this. You should be excited that you're getting a first-hand look at Hayden's beginning of poetry, because I wrote this and felt good. In the class, it's super cool. We go in there and they go, okay, we're going to teach for 45 minutes. The last 10 minutes, we're going to write poems and then share. So here's my poem. Here we go. Have you ever stubbed a toe? Big one? Oh, did I already fuck up? Oh, shit, no, I didn't. Okay. Have you ever stubbed a toe? Big one, middle ones, pinky? Oh, no. Whether corner of bed or the leg of a chair. One little stumble, now you're filled with despair. Fret not and remember, for each toe has a pair. Close your eyes, count to 10, and voila, they're still there. Written by Hayden Smith. Thank you. Hold the applause. The snaps. Thank you. Thank you. I know. I'm gonna release a poetry book here in the next 2 years, so look out for that. It'll be called the Slightly Overwordy Poems. But Mackenzie's a really cool gal, and I'm very glad to have her in my life. She's like the perfect script that a director goes, you know what? This is the script that's gonna change my life, and she's done that. So, she's really awesome. Shout out to her. It was the reason I'm really hitting on this is because one, she deserves it. She's awesome, and two, because it was our 6-year anniversary a couple days ago, and I got her a bouquet. Getting a bouquet. So here's the difference. If you take some notes, guys, or gals or anybody out there who has a loved one that they want to give flowers for, do not go to Walmart. Don't go to Payless. Don't go and get the ones that are prepackaged on the thing. Don't do that. If you have an extra $10, literally $25 total, you spend $15 on the bouquet ones anyway. Go to a flower shop. One, they're all local. I don't think there's any like national flower shops, at least around here. And you meet the most beautiful people. They're the coolest people. They know how to put them together. They know how to pick out roses. And they've done that basically their whole lives probably. It's probably a family-owned business. Go there and go, hey, it's my anniversary tomorrow or today. I want to get her some roses or something. What do I do? And they'll literally walk you through the whole process. I'm going to give a shout out to the Wright's Flower Shop on Sagamore Parkway. I went there and talked to a very nice lady, and the same lady that helped me with my great grandma. And I said, hey, it's my 6-year anniversary. I'm thinking 6 red roses. And she's like, I think that's beautiful. And I said, they're $5 each, right? And she said, yep. And I was like, okay. And then she threw in some extra frilly like angel hair stuff and whipped it together in 5 minutes. I had to go to class, came back, picked it up, walked in the door to McKinsey with bouquet of roses in hand. Heart melted, dude. Heart melted. She loved them. And that's what you got to do. Go get, it doesn't have to be an occasion. Get some flowers and then be like, here, I appreciate you. These are almost as beautiful as you. And then tears will begin to happen in Niagara Falls, and there will no longer be a drought in Las Vegas because your tears will fill the Colorado River. So that's what you got to do. It's very easy. It's very simple. We were gonna go out to eat to an expensive burger place, but we said no, we're not gonna do that. We don't want to get dressed up, so we got hot box pizza instead, and loved every bite. I love hot box pizza, and I ate mine in 2 days. If you don't know what hot box pizza is, I'm sorry. It's the best pizza. People always say, New York, Chicago. No, hot box pizza is the best pizza. They have the best ingredients by far. It's a little pricey, but it's worth it. It's worth every single scrumdiddlyumptious bite. I think I just like pizza in general, actually. Pizza is. That right there is a poem. I've been thinking in poems all day, dude. I've been thinking about, not all day, for the past freaking week or something. I've been thinking about poems, and poems are sad sometimes, dude. We've been reading poems in class, and some of them are really heartfelt and really close and near and dear to people's hearts. If you have a favorite poem, link it below, and I'll give it a read. If you write poems, dude, send me a poem, dude. If you write poems, go to my Instagram and DM me, and I'll read that poem, dude. I love hearing poems. There's a bunch of different ones with a bunch of different kinds, and all of them are very different. I had a couple of days off this week, thank God, and I've been doing a lot of driving, which is almost unusual for me. I'm not a huge driver. Sorry, had to get a drink. I could probably fill this cup up with the sweat that's coming off my body right now. I know that's a little disgusting, but that's how much I'm sweating right now. I love driving. I recently drove down to a family member's house that had some information for me about my father who recently passed away, and it's basically my sister's mom, and I'm connected by my dad, so they used to date. And she's like, I have a couple of things for you. So I go there, and I don't want to get too much into it, but she breaks down basically a lot of my family history, and gives me a couple of papers of some documents that were passed down from a couple of family members. And the dude that I'm named after, his name is also Hayden Smith. There's a lot of information that she gave me about him that I found to be really cool. He was in World War II. Which is cool in itself. He went to France and did the stuff that he did there. I don't really know much about it, but then he was a barber, which is cool. But I got these cool vinyls that were my grandfather's that he recorded. He was a singer. I don't really know much more about it than that, but I I I've had some really, really great days recently, and I'm really privileged and glad that I've been able to spend them with Mackenzie. Um, Even though it's been a super stressful week for everybody, her having to take care of those of her animals, of those horses and stuff, starting school again, me with my job and stuff. I've just felt really, really grateful for all the people in my life, and even more grateful for all the people that have helped me along the way, that maybe aren't in my life anymore. And there's, it's crazy. It's crazy how life is, because you never know when stuff's gonna happen. I watched a Bob Ross documentary, and it broke my heart, actually. I don't remember what it was on. Just look up like Bob Ross. It's like Bob Ross, Happy Little Accidents, something, something, something. But I watched it, and it was heartbreaking, because this beautiful person just wanted to do his art, and people came in and corrupted it. And he was going through some really, really bad times in his life, and it cut to like different things that he would say during his like TV slots, and he was like, life. What the beauty about life is that it can't all be highs. You got to have good times and bad times to make you appreciate when the good times come around. And he said, and I've been in a bad time for a while, and I'm still waiting for the good times to come around. And man, that shit that sent me, dude. Whew. Because it for some reason it always seems like we're in the bad times, especially with how shit is and how it's been going in the world. But you got to block all that stuff out, man. Here's what I've been doing. Mackenzie especially has been really good at trying to keep me focused on what I'm doing, because sometimes I lose sight of what I want to do. And I've been trying to stay away from social media, man. I find myself looking at my phone home screen, not knowing where to go, and feeling lost, when I could just put my phone down, go for a drive, and feel like I found myself. I've driven so much recently. I drive with the music up 100%, of course, with the windows down, of course, fast all the time, but safely, obviously. And you just got to do that, dude. You got to take time to do stuff that you like to do, and do stuff that helps you and makes you feel better. Because if you don't take the time out of your day, we all have shit we have to do, obviously. If you don't take the time in between the shit you have to do or after to do what you want to do, not on your phone, maybe watching a TV show if you want, but not looking at other people who are in better shape than you, who are having a quote unquote better life than you, I guarantee they're not, dude. They might post whatever they want to post on Instagram, dude, but I guarantee behind the scenes, bro, that is not, they're not having fun, man. Because no one's having fun. No one's having fun unless you decide to have fun. And I and Mackenzie recently have decided to have fun. There's no point in dwelling. There's no point in being sad for no reason. If you have a good reason to be sad, then you should fucking be sad until you can get out of that. Because I've been sad, and I've been sad for a while. I got a thing. Less than a minute. I've been sad for a while, and I've decided to no longer dwell in the past. It's all about the future. I'm excited on what the future holds for me and Mackenzie. You never know what'll happen. And we're basically setting ourselves up for success in every way possible. And I think you should too. You should take this advice. If you sat through this whole thing, you should take this advice. This is going to be a shorter episode today, just because I got some homework to do. Really sorry. Next episode will make it way better. But I'm glad we had this talk, me and you. I think you needed to hear it. I think I needed to let it out. And if you're sitting here listening to this, you're already doing half the battle. The other half is actually doing it. Choose to be happy. Choose to do that thing that you love to do, because you deserve to do it, and you're awesome. And even though you're slightly overweight, I will still love you till the day you die. Thanks for listening. Bye.